Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your WWE main event spoilers and SmackDown spoilers. A happy birthday goes to Byron Saxton, turned 35 years old on Tuesday. Johnny Storm turned 39 on Tuesday. His real name, Jonathan Whitcomb. Roxy, formerly of TNA, turned 37. Real name, Nicole Rosinski. Johnny Stamboli turned another year older. He was born in 1977. Kurt Hawkins, a.k.a. Brian Myers, TNA. Now, he was born in 1985. Also, Rick Rude, a.k.a. Rick Rude, died of heart failure at the age of 40 on April 20th, 1999. His death was triggered by an overdose of mixed medications. That part I did not know myself. And a neighbor of mine just asked me something about Rick Rude. Just yesterday, I believe. Advertised dark main event for SmackDown taping was Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Didn't we just have that on Monday night? Okay. NXT star Austin Aries recently appeared as a guest on Fight Club Chicago on Chicagoland Sports Radio. During the interview, Aries spoke about WWE's Global Cruiserweight Series, the rumors going around surrounding TNA, and more. On WWE's Global Cruiserweight Series, he was asked, "As far as I know, I will not be a part of that. I think what they're trying in this tournament is for an opportunity to kind of introduce maybe some more unknown talents to fans. I think the thought might be here with where I'm at in my career, that not that I wouldn't love to be a part of it. It is probably with the mindset being it is there, probably a lot of other guys that would benefit from that exposure. I think the idea is that whether it's guys from within the system that maybe, again, haven't been showcased, or some guys that are from outside the system that have a chance to make an impression. These are all guys that I should be looking at because they are guys I could be in the ring with down the road." On his dream opponent and wishing Bobby Heenan could have been his manager. No matter who the dream match is, because there are probably 100 of them on the list, and I have done a few of them at his request on my dream match page, or dream match thing. He says, "I want Bobby Heenan as my manager as long as I can get Bobby Heenan in my corner. Then I'm a happy man, because to me, Bobby Heenan is one of the most underrated performers of all time. He's in my top 5 of all time performers because I don't think people realize how good he was." And he comments on the TNA sale rumors. It always goes back to the ownership group. At the end of the day, you could change coaches, managers, and players, but if there's something intrinsic, something wrong, then you have to look at what the common denominator is. And usually you've got to look at the ownership, because everything runs from there. All I can say is I hope they continue to remain a viable company where guys and girls can make a living and make money. The professional wrestling industry needs healthy, successful products, and the more the better, because that's just more opportunities and jobs for the men and women who enjoy doing professional wrestling for a living. WWE recently applied to trademarks for Apollo Crews, Austin Aries, Baron Corbin, Bayley, and Hideo Itami. So it's just a matter of time when they bring Bayley and Austin Aries up to the main roster, since they're getting trademarks. Stephanie McMahon has been announced for Variety's Entertainment and Technology Summit in New York City on May 5th. Within the next 2 weeks, she will be speaking during a Hunting for Millennials presentation. Title Match Wrestling posted this video with highlights from the first Icons of Wrestling Fan Fest at the former ECW Arena, held this past weekend. The video features footage of Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Sabu, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Road Warrior Animal, and many others. I took a brief look at it. I didn't see much of the video. It was buffering a lot, but you can go to that link. In addition to being an on-air performer in WWE, Shane McMahon is involved in several other businesses. McMahon recently spoke to Inc. magazine about the Indian Larry motorcycle shop and showroom in Brooklyn, which he is a partner in. Shane talked about the hand-built bikes and their plans to expand. The brand is real and it is raw. It's got that great attitude of hard work and creativity that resonates with a lot of people. McMahon is also the vice chairman of the board at You On Demand, a cable service provider in China. As previously noted, Shane is currently being sued for his involvement in the company's securities trading. To update on that, the attorney for McMahon at You On Demand has officially replied to the complaint as a disregard to dismiss the complaint and throw it out of court. A third job here, Shane McMahon is featured in a new issue of Inc. magazine. He's a partner. I was just given that. And he also commented on two different reports said the same thing, so I'm not even going to worry about it. WWE has released the NXT entrance themes for Austin Aries and Liv Morgan on YouTube. You can check them out at these links here. Choose your poison. Austin Aries will be on top and Liv Morgan underneath. Okay, as you heard seen on my Raw results video, Adam Rose has been suspended for 60 days. Any comments on his 60-day suspension for violating the wellness policy? I was not going to respond to my suspension, but I feel I have to. I have two sons that will one day read that news and about their daddy and his sister that died from complications related to a lifelong battle with heroin. So I feel the absolute need and right to respond and let the truth be known. I am pretty sure this response will meet nowhere near the publicity that my suspension did, and that this response is a tantamount to career suicide. But I feel for my sons, my sister, and the rest of my family. You, the WWE Universe, has the right to know the truth over my suspension and what it was for. I will also quote my doctor in my response, as he was as shocked and appalled by this suspension. I can say right now, I did not do anything knowingly wrong, and I was taking prescribed medication that my doctor and I followed all the correct protocol on. My actual response and doctor's response will be coming soon. So before you judge, know the facts. My family and I are still collecting ourselves from this blow. I have zero anger or animosity against the WWE, but feel the administrators over the WWE wellness policy were just simply not right in taking this action. But I feel facts are the facts, and my family and I will be the ones putting our lives back together after this mess. My response will be up soon, along with my doctors. Rose and Connor of the Ascension Tag Team were suspended over the weekend for their second violation of the company's policy. WWE did not disclose any information regarding the first suspensions, nor have they disclosed what triggered the second violations. I'll let you know once Rose releases more info on if he mentions anything. Busted Open Satellite Radio show. I found some news that they had an interview with the Young Bucks, formerly of TNA, Generation Me, now of Ring of Honor, Matt and Nick Jackson, hosted by Dave LaGreca and Doug Mortman. Airs Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 2 to 4 on Sirius 93 and XM 93. Young Bucks on criticism of their style from the old guard of wrestling. Nick Jackson comments, "We playing out, just say. You're outdated. This is what's hot. This is what's new. And you've got to just move on. things from back then don't necessarily work as good now. Some of the stuff is outdated. Like I said, if you did a chin lock for 10 minutes at a Ring of Honor show, they're chanting this is boring. You can't do that type of stuff nowadays. It worked back then. It was good back then, but now it's different. Fans nowadays, they have shorter attention spans, and they want to be entertained like this, and we try to give that. Matt Jackson, and if you don't, they're going to be on their phone, making complaints, demanding their money back. I want to be that guy that has their attention from the time I hit the curtain, the entire time. I'll go back to the curtain. I want to be that match. Like he said, I can't put a guy in a chin lock for 10 minutes straight and keep their attention. It's just not going to happen in 2016. Comments on their vocal detractors losing credibility. Matt says, I guess they lose a little more credibility with the way that they react to it and the way that their behavior is, the way they talk about it. If they just downright say, this is wrong, it's not supposed to be this way, yeah, they lose credibility because they're less cool now. The fans are going, no, you're burying my favorite guy. What are you doing, man? I thought you were cool. Why are you talking crap about my favorite wrestler? There's a way to do it, or there's a way to present the idea and say, listen, I'm not saying the way they do it now is wrong, but the way I did it back in the day was different. That's the way to talk about it. You don't just bury it and then Jim Cornette style, do a shoot interview for an hour on your podcast and curse to say all these things, how it should be hung in the Times Square for doing a certain spot. That's when you lose that credibility. Just be articulate. Talk. State your opinion. State facts why you feel like your opinion is right. You don't have to be a jerk about it. That's all I'm saying. On the surge in popularity of Bullet Club coinciding with their inclusion. Nick says, we feel like there is some truth to that because we feel like the Bullet Club was a cool thing at first. Maybe it was because of us. But when we joined New Japan, things skyrocketed. Matt says, we took our fan base that we've been building on the independents for so long, we took them to Japan, and they never really watched New Japan Pro Wrestling. At least some of the niche audience, we have a big following, you know. We have a cult following. Nick says, we know how to market our t-shirts, and as soon as we saw that Bullet Club shirt, we were like, we got our market. We got to market the crap out of that thing. Matt says it was a cool design, but you know that? You know what? It's a team collaboration. All these guys you've mentioned, we all hit it off so well. We have the undeniable chemistry. We all brought out a certain side of each other that no one else had seen. When we were all in a room together, it was special. I think people not only bought the shirt because it's a cool shirt, they bought the shirt because what the shirt defined. It defined a good time. It defined a party. It defined a cool thing, and we all created cool. On the success of many of their former colleagues in WWE, Matt says, I'm happy for all those guys, man. They all deserve it. They're all hustlers. They're globe-trotting wrestlers that have been doing this for years, and they're the best in the world. If anyone deserves it, it's them. They're the good guys. On any milestone goals that they still want to accomplish, Matt says, I would love to wrestle and rock Madison Square Garden one day. I think that would be kind of cool. Nick says, I don't know. We've done quite a bit. One goal that I always tell all my family is just to continue to make as much money as possible and to stay healthy. If that means going to WWE, so be it. If that means staying here, so be it. Whatever's best for my family, if it comes down to it. Matt then comments by saying, I just want to be happy. I want to keep my health, keep my body, keep my family. If I can do all those things, then I'm a happy man. And WWE take the following matches from London for the main event episode. Summer Rae versus Alicia Fox, Apollo Crews versus Curtis Axel, Kane and Big Show versus Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman. So there's some of your answer of what was happening. Possibly should have been Undertaker and Kane versus Rowan and Strowman. But you got Kane and Big Show. First result, thanks to Franny Gerard and Ben McCullough for the following main event spoilers. Apollo Crews defeated Curtis Axel. Summer Rae defeated Alicia Fox. Kane and Big Show defeated Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman. Second report gave a little bit more detail. Thanks to Hayden Gleed, Chris Mangalaparthy, and ProWrestling.net. For the main event, airs on Wednesdays. Rich Brennan and Jerry Lawler on commentary, and Eden handled the ring introductions. The cab and the telephone box were used again. Apollo Crews defeated Curtis Axel. Crews receives a bigger pop than he got on Raw. Some good back and forth action. Axel got a good few moves in. He kicked out of the standing back somersault. And then Crews got the win with his finisher. Summer Rae defeated Alicia Fox. Nothing more than that. Nothing in detail. And nothing in any details on your main event for the main event. Kane and Big Show just defeated Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman. And that's only 2 results that I've got from 6 different dirt sheets. Same results. SmackDown results thanks to Franny Gerard and Bill McCullough. For the SmackDown spoilers from London. And the bridges are not falling down. Intercontinental Champion The Miz and Maurice kicked off SmackDown with The Miz TV in the ring. We see Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson attacking Roman Reigns from Raw. Guest stars AJ Styles come out. Says he had nothing to do with it. This leads to Styles versus Miz being announced for tonight. Also taking place will be Dean Ambrose and Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Ryback defeated U.S. Champion Kalisto in a non-title match. Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin never happened as Corbin beat down Ziggler outside the ring and hit the end of days. AJ Styles defeated The Miz in a good match. Miz tried to leave at one point, but Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson stopped him. This led to AJ getting the win. AJ had to stare down with Gallows and Anderson after the match. Miz remains in the ring for a dark segment. This apparently was where this was happening. Probably intermission break. Well, he wants his loss investigated and he's not happy about how he's being treated. Shane McMahon interrupts to a huge pop. Miz demands that Shane put him at the top of the list and starts poking him around. Shane fires back, beats Miz up, sends him flying from the ring. And I think I do have some photos, which I will post during this thing as well. Maybe even a video, I think, at the end of it. Next up, we got Paige and Natalya defeated Tamina and Naomi with double sharpshooters. Paige got huge pop. R-Truth defeated Fandango with Goldust as special guest referee. And they dance after the match. Enzo Amore and Cole and Cassie come out for promos in the ring while Villains interrupted from the stage. They have words about their tournament finals match at Payback. All 4 were said to be very good here. A video showed of Primo and Epico airing. Shane announces by video that Baron Corbin versus Ziggler and Styles versus Alberto Del Rio would take place after the taping as dark matches. Another rematch. Multiple dark matches, in other words. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn and Dean Ambrose in the main event. Said to be a very good match. And that was it for the first spoiler. Spoiler number 2. Open up with Miz and AJ. They showed clips of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson attacking Roman Reigns. Maurice came out and got heat by speaking in French. Miz brought up that Styles, Gallows, and Anderson were all friends from Japan and told Styles to admit that the fact that he set up the attack on Reigns, which Styles denied it. Miz then asked why he did nothing to stop them if he didn't set it up. Styles said that he was upset with them and doesn't need their help to beat Reigns. Miz continued to push the idea that Styles thought he needed help against Reigns. Miz kept pushing Styles to tell the truth. Miz and Maurice got heat again by making out. Eventually, Styles attacked Miz. Ryback defeated U.S. Champion Kalisto in a non-title match after nailing the shell shot. Dolph Ziggler came out for a match and was attacked by Baron Corbin. He got laid out again by the end of days. AJ Styles defeated The Miz in action. Miz was taking the worst of it and tried to walk out. Anderson and Gallows came out and blocked him from leaving. Styles threw Miz back in the ring and pinned him after the phenomenal forearm. Sami Zayn and Dean Ambrose were interviewed. They said Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose were the best in the world at sneaking up from behind. Zayn and Ambrose then tried to do a comedy bit where they'd come up with a name for their new tag team. Miz did a promo and said what happened earlier was proof Styles, Anderson, and Gallows were all working together. He demanded an investigation and refused to leave the ring until it was done. Shane then came out. Miz yelled at Shane and put his finger in his chest repeatedly until Shane laid in some punches and flying back elbow before clotheslining Miz to the outside. This may have been just for the live crowd to give them something since Undertaker wasn't there as advertised. Anderson and Gallows did an interview. They were asked if they were aligned with Styles, and they said they weren't. They also said that they will be wrestling on Raw next Monday against the Usos. Paige and Natalya defeated Naomi and Tamina with a double submission win. R-Truth pinned Fandango with Goldust as referee. R-Truth and Goldust then dance after the match. Enzo and Cass came out. The crowd was big time into them. Bob Villains did a promo making fun of Enzo. Good segment building up their match on Raw next week to determine the top contenders for the tag titles, which was not mentioned in the other one because it was mentioned supposed to be at Payback. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho defeated Sami Zayn and Dean Ambrose. Ambrose was on the top rope, and Jericho shoved him off. Ambrose sold it like he had injured his knee, and Owens pinned him, which was retribution for Ambrose pinning Owens on Raw. Third report from Hayden Gleed, Chris Magalparthy, and ProWrestling.net. Airing on Thursday. Ring was set up for Miz TV segment. They showed a replay of Anderson and Gallows attacking Reigns on Raw. Crowd booed every time Reigns was shown on the screen. This will lead into the opening video. There was full pyro display. While it was dark, Miz and Maurice headed to the ring. Maurice spoke French and demanded we stand up. Miz introduced AJ Styles, who got a great welcome. AJ seemed more comfortable. The Miz said, let's go back to Japan 2014. He asked, was he thick as thieves with Anderson and Gallows? Miz told Styles to admit that he had something to do with the attack. Styles denied it. Miz changed the question and said, if you didn't ask them to attack, did you try to stop them? AJ said, they can think for themselves. He asked whether he upset with them and said he is. He said he doesn't need anyone to help him beat Roman. Miz continued to accuse AJ and said he needs Anderson and Gallows as Roman is the guy. Miz stood up and told Styles to tell him the truth while adding that he can handle it. This resulted in Miz and his wife making out after she said, I love you, and Miz channeling Han Solo by saying, I know. After they finished, AJ attacked Miz. Main event of the show was announced as Dean Ambrose and Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Ryback defeated Kalisto in a non-title match. Ryback dominated the first 6 minutes of the match and hit a 20-second vertical suplex from the middle rope, which was quite an impressive spot. The end of the match came when Ryback hit Shell Shock for the win. Dolph Ziggler headed to the ring for a match. As he got to the ring, Baron Corbin ran down beside the ramp and attacked him. Then Corbin performed the end of days. When asked why, he said, it's because he can. AJ Styles defeated The Miz. The Miz worked Styles over viciously to begin with before AJ made his comeback. And he came with The Miz had a sustained amount of offense, but Styles made another comeback and Miz bailed to the outside. He tried to walk up the ramp, but Bullet Club members Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows ran out and blocked his path. AJ brought Miz into the ring and hit the phenomenal forearm to win in roughly 15 minutes. Hayden noted that AJ gave up a lot of offense to Miz, which was a surprise with Payback coming up. Decent action, though. Video was showing Shane making the Jericho versus Ambrose and Zayn versus Owens match for Payback. Backstage segment, Zayn and Ambrose were interviewed. Ambrose said Jericho must be the best in the world at sneaking up from behind. Zayn said we need to beat these guys who are dragging us down. They did a comedy bit talking about their tag names. Ambrose said their name is Rough Riders, but Sammy said that's too sexual. In the ring, The Miz was still getting up. He said he told the fans that AJ, Anderson, and Gallows are in it together. He continued to heel on the crowd. Then he demanded an investigation. Nuclear heat. He said he refused to leave the ring until an investigation is done. This led to Shane McMahon coming out in his sweats. And what may have been a dark segment, Shane said he popped into London to say hello. Miz said he doesn't care if he wants to say hello to this crappy crowd. He wants Shane to go to the back. Shane cut him off and told him not to touch him again. Miz mocked him for being a rich boy. Miz continued to poke him in the chest, so Shane hit a couple of punches and a flying elbow. A nice crowd-pleasing moment that may not air on TV, but if it does, it'll be a good spot. Backstage segment, Anderson and Gallows were walking and were asked whether their actions confirmed that they are aligned with AJ. Of course they said no. AJ can handle himself. They said their in-ring debuts will be on Raw against the Usos. Paige and Natalya defeated Naomi and Tamina. Paige is super over with the hometown fans. Paige and Natalya applied submissions holds to gain the victory. It must have been tornado tag rules. R-Truth defeated Fandango. Goldust came out and was introduced as a guest referee. After some bad dancing segment, Truth slammed Fandango and pinned him, then danced with Goldust afterwards. Enzo, Amore, and Big Cass made their entrance to a superstar reaction. Once in the ring, they did their stick, and the crowd ate it up. They were interrupted by the Evolved Villains. They cut a promo on Enzo, who responded by telling them he doesn't know what they are saying. The crowd started to give the Evolved Villains with the what treatment. They finished by saying at the end of their match, they will be standing over them and saying, "How are you doing?" properly. Great back and forth between the two teams. Jericho and Owens were shown walking backstage, getting ready for the next match. Jericho knocked the popcorn out of someone backstage, and Owens stole the popcorn from the other backstage handlers and started eating it. Funny. Tommy Dreamer style, I guess. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho defeated Sami Zayn and Dean Ambrose. Owens tagged out quickly when Sami was in the ring early on. Zayn dominated early offense against Jericho before tagging in Ambrose. Jericho took a timeout and caught Ambrose coming back in the ring. Late in the match, Ambrose climbed to the top and Jericho pushed him off. And Ambrose jarred his knee. Owens rolled him up for the victory. And that was is where I believe the cameras stopped filming to end SmackDown. And the dark matches said, spoilers, Dolph Ziggler defeated Baron Corbin by countout. They filmed the entrances, but then they started putting the cameras away. Baron walked up the ramp and was counted out. He teased returning, then ducked out again and walked out. AJ Styles defeated Alberto Del Rio. O2 crowd was still happy to see Styles, but it's now like 5 entrances in 2 nights. Nothing like overexposing your best talent. Styles pinned Del Rio to win the match. Styles took the mic and said London is his favorite place to work. And here's the video link after SmackDown ended for TV. The segment with Miz and Shane McMahon. And also another link as well. Shane takes out The Miz. Basically, just like a clothesline over the top rope. Well, Shane McMahon announced at the SmackDown tapings in London that he was extending the show for the live crowd with 2 post-show dark matches. The first saw Dolph Ziggler defeat Baron Corbin by countout after Corbin walked off. Seems to me they're trying to do him like Kevin Owens. Other match saw AJ Styles defeat Alberto Del Rio, which was Styles' second match of the night. It was noted by our correspondent that many fans left before the dark match main event began. Those that don't know, you better call me, bro. And that concludes my SmackDown spoilers for this week, as well as main event. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I want to be. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.